Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we are talking about FOAMSTARS, one of the brand new multiplayer games from Square Enix and PlayStation. This was a game that I honestly wasn't planning on getting, but they dropped it as one of the PlayStation Plus games of the month, so I figured I'd give it a try. And as of making this video, I've played over 10 hours of the game. I've played multiple rounds of each of the modes they have, and I have a pretty good idea of the game thus far. I've also 100% all of the character single-player story things, and I also bought the Season Pass, mainly because my daughter insisted that I have the Ice Cream Girl.
You sure about that? You sure about that? That's why?
So I figured that I would just list all of the things that I really enjoyed about the game, as well as some things that I didn't quite enjoy. Starting off with the gameplay. I always say that gameplay is king. And if a game has a crap story but fun gameplay, I generally enjoy the game, and vice versa. And the gameplay in FOAMSTARS is actually quite fun. It consists of foaming up other players in PvP, or monsters in co-op mode. As of right now, there are 8 different characters that you can play as. They are all fairly fun and unique, with each character having a different weapon that has a different firing mode. You have one character that will dual wield like these auto pistols, another will have more of a short-ranged shotgun style, and then we have like an assault style gun as well. So each of the 8 characters do play all a little bit differently based on which character you choose, because they each have a different gun that shoots different firing modes kind of thing. Along with the weapons, each player has their own unique abilities as well as super abilities. One character will summon like a huge giant shark, another will be in like this giant spike bubble and roll over enemies. And my personal favorite was one that you can summon like this giant robot, come down and help foam up all the enemies. All of these things put together made the gameplay quite enjoyable, and I had a fun time playing with all the characters. One thing that I do wish was in the game was local co-op, as me and my daughter had a blast playing through all of the characters, and it would just be so much more fun being able to play together in the same room. And that, I don't know, I just feel like that would have been a really cool feature to add. Up next, I want to talk about the PvP modes as well as the single player story missions. To start off, there are 3 different PvP modes. Smash the Star, which is where you eliminate other players till their star player appears, and if your team can foam them up before your star, you win. This mode is always available and can be played whenever. The next 2 modes kind of flip-flop and are not always available at the same time. The first one being the Happy Bath Survival, and my personal favorite, the Rubber Duck Party. Happy Bath Survival is where 2 players start in the arena and each fight each other, while the 2 players on the outside are giving support by helping shoot the other enemies from the outside. Rubber Duck Party is kind of like King of the Hill in a sense. A player will stand on top of the duck while shooting enemies, and while you're on top, the duck will move closer to the enemy's goal. And if you can get it all the way to the other side, you win. I personally really enjoyed this one. It was really fun, as the top of the duck is always just chaos, with everyone shooting all of their abilities and everything just right at you. All of these modes were pretty fun in my opinion, and I had a good time playing all of them. There's also a PvE mode, and that's just where you team up with 3 other players and take out waves of enemies. It's fun, but PvP modes is where it's at. Now, some of the things that I didn't quite like. All of the single player story missions for each character are literally the same. You fight off waves of enemies for 3 rounds. They're all super easy, and the only real difference is they all each have like their own like story dialogue that's being said as you fight through all the enemies and all the waves. As I said, they're all the same and repetitive, and honestly just not super interesting. Also, all of the dialogue for everyone is just really bad and cringy. Like, I don't think the voice acting itself was particularly bad, but just some of the things that they were saying, it was just kind of comes off as just dumb and cringy, I don't know. And lastly is the microtransactions. And holy cow, these are just egregious. Other than the Season Pass, which was actually quite reasonable, only being $5, which was a pretty decent deal, gives you a whole playable character and plenty of things to unlock within the Season Pass. But honestly, outside of that, everything in the shop was just ridiculously overpriced. Some things even being up to $40 for a set of skins, which is just mind-boggling. And to make it worse, all of the cool stuff, of course, is all locked behind paywalls. Like, there are no skins or weapon skins that you can unlock just in the game. Everything you have at default is what you get when you go to the customization screen. All those skins you see and all those weapon skins you can get are all locked behind a paywall. Like, you can't just get those just by getting currency in the game or, playing a bunch of rounds to unlock them. They're all within the store. And like I said, some of that stuff is $40, and I just can't imagine people spending $40 on a skin. Like, that is just nuts. Going into my final thoughts for FOAMSTARS, overall, I think I had a good time with it. I thought the gameplay was fun and all of the modes were quite enjoyable, but unfortunately the story modes were just not very good. They were very repetitive, and if I'm being honest, just weren't that interesting. The dialogue was also pretty bad, and the microtransactions were just ridiculous and egregious. That is why I'm going to give FOAMSTARS a 6 out of 10. The gameplay was fun, but honestly, I just don't see this being a game that people play and invest in for years to come. Maybe if they add a few more modes in the future, I'll go back. A plus side is it is part of the PlayStation Plus Games of the Month, so that's a bonus. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And let me know down in the comments if you guys have played FOAMSTARS and what your thoughts of it. And I'll see you guys on the next video.